Good morning and welcome to Thought for Today on Monday. And last Monday, I talked about a change of mood and perspective that I had had about life, from feeling rather flat and depressed with everything at the never-ending dreariness of all this virus pandemic. A Judith Lucy podcast, overwhelmed and dying feeling. And realizing this, yet also feeling overtaken by it in a way in which I felt somehow helpless to combat. And then there came a profound change of insight, brought about by seeing on a lavender bush a dead bee that had been captured by a praying mantis. Watching the insects for several minutes, both motionless on the bush, somehow gave me a great feeling of peace and acceptance. And I found myself wondering why this was so. Something important had turned in me, and when I came to write my Monday thought last week, I was still wrestling with it and came to realize that it had something to do with gratitude, and thought of the poem by Rumi, where he recognizes that human attributes of strength, beauty, or whatever else it is that we think that we possess are just on loan to us from God, and that we need to thank God for them rather than to feel possessors in our own right. And this recognition had freed me from the feeling that the scourge of this virus should not happen to the world or to me, that it was somehow unfair. It shattered an illusion of entitlement, that it shouldn't have happened. But life isn't fair. We know this, even though we often feel it should be. But this was not all that had been revealed to me. Somehow there was more, but the words for the significance of the dead bee and the praying mantis I could not quite grasp. It was like trying to unravel the mystery of a dream and only getting so far. Over this last week, the full meaning seems to have come to me. So today's reflection is a sort of part two. The bee and the mantis incident was a tiny part of the life of the created world, and yet they revealed an insight into the reality of the world, of suffering, of death, and of recreation, of the necessity for this, and of our being caught up in this too, no matter how much we try to avoid it, especially in our era where we seek omnipotence, even eternal life. Yet this other realization of us being finite creatures is the reality, and being the reality, we can either accept or deny it. There is a choice then. The cost of choosing denial is apparent in all kinds of falsehoods, the consequences ranging from mild forms of self-destruction and wasted lives to acts of incredible widespread evil, with consequences not just for other people, but for the whole interdependent created order. But I don't want to talk about the cost of the denial of reality, but rather the possibilities of acceptance. For in this is found freedom to enter the extraordinary wonder of the life Jesus calls us to. The acceptance of the reality of the suffering in life offers the possibility of giving ourselves to life and to God despite, or perhaps because of this. Acceptance must be accompanied by gratitude, as Rumi points out, but it must go beyond this. We must choose to live within the faith that God is love and to give ourselves to life, to a life being lived within the terrible mystery of the presence of suffering and evil, all the while trusting in the presence of a loving God. And the starting point those little insects had pointed out to me was commitment to life. They had made their commitment, but they had no choice over how they lived as insects. It is not like that for us. We have a choice. We are called to love, despite everything that seeks to overwhelm us, and in trusting commitment to life, to find in our self-abandonment that the truth will set us free. Yesterday morning's Psalm 27 at Mass spoke deeply to me. Come, my heart says, seek his face. And then the response, I believe that I shall see the good things of the Lord in the land of the living. So may God bless us all, and goodbye for now.